Hanging with Hibbi. Sorry if I look a little like dozed right now. I just got my second vaccine. Get your vaccine, everyone. Big message. I want to get your vaccine. But besides that, though, I'm here with another guest, Meighan Brakewell. Is that how you say it, right?
That's how you say my name.
Hey, perfect.
Yes.
First try. And yeah, Meighan here is really like for this podcast just have a bunch of people that kind of been important in my life, and Meighan especially for sure is one of those people. She's kind of been like she's been my friend like around, I would say like around high school, college till now, and we've always just kind of clicked with music. She also does photography on this side. As you can see behind her, vinyl collecting is one of her many hobbies. And
I have
yeah,
a few records.
one or two, it's fine. But yeah, how's it going, Meighan?
235.
Whoa, we'll go into that. But how's it going, Meighan?
It's going really good. Thank you so much for having me. How are you feeling? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm surprised. I'm just dreading the next day. Apparently, the next day is like when you get your second like vaccine dose, you get KO'd. So I'm like, here's hoping people like just drink a lot of water. So I'm like drinking this my 64-ounce water. So hopefully I'm fine. But yeah, I'm doing good. I guess like we could just get right into it. Like I mentioned, behind you have like maybe half like one record or something. But kind of we'll go into just music in general, I guess. What kind of got you into music and your love for it?
So I've always had like a really deep connection with music. My dad also loves music, and he was always playing his favorite bands and CDs. And back in the day, his first ever iPod, we were jamming on that. Mm-hmm. So a lot of my musical influence comes from like what my dad listened to. And then when I got into probably like halfway through elementary school, I started discovering like different genres of music, like on YouTube and YouTube videos being uploaded, and just word of mouth, because how else were you really supposed to discover music? There was no Spotify.
100%.
So my taste in music has evolved from like 80s and 90s rock to what was like 2000s pop to what became like emo and alternative rock. That's kind of where I sit now. But yeah, behind me you'll find all of those decades and all of those genres.
Awesome. And what was it? So with record collecting, what started with that? Because I remember like just you starting your like roughly starting your collection, and then as I kept like almost every month is like, oh, I got this. Oh, more is coming out next year and all this. What kind of got you? Like, what kind of started that itch?
I was trying to remember because so much time has passed since I bought my first records that I don't even know how I got into it, but I do know that it was a massive snowball effect.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, I got this record. I think my first record was like an 80s record, like a Police record from an antique store.
I think so. Okay. Now the memory's coming back. I remember you mentioning that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that was my first record, and then I learned that they were pressing like current music on records. I was like, oh, I kind of love collecting this medium. Like it's really cool and unique. And I got my first record player in 2014 for Christmas. So it's been, how many years has it been since then? 7?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
7 years. I've been collecting for 7 years.
Yeah. That's pretty good. And I just kind of go into music. When was like that time when you kind of branched out and started listening to your own stuff? So for example, you grew up like what your parents listened to. Was it like around high school? Would you say like, you know what, maybe I'll try something else?
I have a very specific memory of Facebook messaging one of my friends over the summer, just after we graduated grade 8. And she recommended bands like Basement and Citizen and Into It Over It. And that's when that started. So I'm pretty sure like Sleep was the first song I ever heard from Citizen.
From Citizen, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I love this. This is awesome. I want people to scream at me when I am listening to music, apparently. So that's where I found those genres. And then in high school, I met some friends who also knew those bands and then put me on to a few other bands like Silverstein, A Day to Remember. Bands like that I got really into in grade 9 with just word of mouth from friends.
Man, it made me so pumped to have you on my show because I get to talk about those like era of like emo, like pop punk, metalcore
The
kind of
things
bands.
that hit you when
Yeah,
you're just walking
like
home from school in the rain.
yeah, exactly. Just oh my gosh, just Citizen, Basement, like those like Run for Cover label like type
Yes, oh my
bands.
god, what a
Just
good
like I feel
label.
like those are kind of like what's the word? Like just they've always been around for me personally throughout high school, especially like bands like Foxy. And Foxy, I would say, is like one of my all-time favorite bands. Modern Baseball, I can't forget about them.
Yeah.
Like how can you not, especially if you're an emo person back in high school? Like everyone would, like almost everyone would
The
talk
black
about,
eyeliner,
yeah, the like
My Chemical
yeah,
Romance, Don't Talk to Me. Oh, the tongue
Pizza
ribbons.
Man. Just that era was. I think you can't replace that era. It's hard to explain to someone, showing them Modern Baseball, Citizen, Turnover, like back when they were
Oh,
emo,
Turnover.
back before Peripheral Vision when they were like really emo pop punk sounding band.
Yeah,
It's because
I
people,
have Magnolia.
yeah, exactly.
It's great.
People like to bring up Peripheral Vision in their albums after that. I'm like, no, I'm all about Magnolia. That's still like my favorite album by them, and then their EP, and Citizen Youth is again one of those like main albums like everyone at least should know about that album, especially if you're into like pop punk. That's just one of the staples for.
Yeah.
It's crazy because like I started getting really into like pop punk and emo in high school. I think a lot of people do, but that era, like with A Day to Remember and like a bunch of top of my head, I can't think of any. Seaway,
Oh yeah.
Seaway, counterparts, just those sort of things. And then go for me we'll go. I guess we could like kind of transition to like going to local shows downtown to Absinthe. Then seeing Citizen live is still in
Oh,
my
I
my
wish I
top
could have.
in my top 10 favorite shows I've been to just during youth era. That was
Yeah, for
mind blowing
sure.
to me, and yeah, it's just a whole lot of memories. Just like you brought up Citizen, suddenly
It's just
like
like,
a
oh,
vault,
unlock.
like a vault, and like you just like a Pandora's box just
Absolutely.
went off. But yeah, with A Day to Remember too, listening to them, and for me it was in high school when I started listening to my own music, but also because shout out to my brothers Ethan and John for kind of opening my music taste more, because Ethan would listen to those bands first, so I kind of leached
Yeah.
off like I would hear him listen to Story So Far Next Door, and I'm like, what is this? I like, oh, this is hope he never hears this, but there's times because in our old house it was my room and then his room, but like he'd be blasting music. I'm like, this song sounds sick. I would like
This
Shazam
is
and
lit.
like
What is this shit?
I would get like Shazam out, like the app Shazam, like aim like my iPod next to his door is like, this is Story So Far Under Soil and Dirt album. I'm like, oh, crazy, that's crazy. And then I just kept going from there. And yeah, A Day to Remember is another one of those bands. I got to see them live, thankfully, when they opened for Blink 182. And this
Oh my god, yeah.
this is for me. I feel like they killed it. Obviously, Blink 182 was really good, but Day to Remember for me, it's weird because with Blink 182, I grew up listening to them, but A Day to Remember, I feel like I listened to them way more later on. Blink 182 is kind of like this, like my childhood, while A Day to Remember is kind of at the time what I was really into. Their stage presence, all that was amazing to me. But
Yeah, for sure.
But
I wish that I could have seen those bands live. Last year, fucking 2020, was gonna be the year that I go to all the local shows because I live close to downtown now. And of course, they're like, nope.
Yeah.
So that sucks, but I can't wait to start seeing shows as the tours are announced.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like we can go to concerts now, but if we were to ask you like a couple months ago or whatever, it'd be like, what's the state of like live music and all? But like now it's crazy. You see, it's for me about like a tear to my eye seeing all these bands I follow on like Instagram, Twitter, saying, all right, guys, North America tour next year or like end of this year, and it just get all these memories again of going to concerts again, because that was the main thing one of the main things I missed because of COVID. Was going to a lot of like local shows, going to concerts, kind of like my serotonin for my soul, you know. And
yeah, not going to Sound of Music this year killed me because that's my favorite
yeah.
festival.
And Super Crawl,
But
I love too, yeah.
Yeah, I have one set of concert tickets that I've purchased so far.
Yeah.
It's for February next year, I think. It's
Mhm.
either for December this year or February next year. I'm seeing July Talk at First
Oh
Ontario
man,
Centre.
they're really good. They played at Mohawk, like I
I
think.
saw them. I was
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I was gonna say yeah. I was
That
say
was the coolest
also like Megan
experience.
and I went to the same. We basically went to college and graduated together. We didn't go to the same
Yeah,
program, but we were in and out
we were
basically
in the
around
same
the same.
hallway.
Yeah, we're the same hallway. So yeah, like again, like from like getting a lot of my music taste was like later on was like because of college. Like all my college friends, especially when I was in radio, everyone had like a wide range of musical tastes. Like at the time, I was just into like again pop punk, emo, metalcore, hardcore, all that. So I had a friend saying like, "Have you heard of Kendrick Lamar? Have you heard of like Brockhampton?" And then from there, I just again started
Oh, dude.
listening to my own stuff. And speaking of
Yeah.
Brockhampton, I got like they have a show March next year. I'm going with one of my friends, Eric.
Awesome.
You know Eric. So
You and Eric are
it's
going?
yeah, and our friend Jay. It was crazy for me to be like, I got concert tickets.
It's a surreal feeling
it's
to
like the
have
little
now.
things that we forget about, but like
We've
has
been
a bigger
deprived.
impact of it. But yeah. What was I gonna say? But yeah, but it's crazy seeing bands now and artists announce tours now, and I guess we could go into what is some of like your favorite concerts you've been to?
So I haven't been to too many yet, but
Hmm.
the ones that stick out for me most were I got to see Muse with 30 Seconds to Mars and Paris as the
Yeah,
openers.
yeah.
Great lineup. I love all those bands. And it was at an outdoor venue, the Budweiser Stadium, which used to be the
The
Molson
Budweiser
Community
stage.
Amphitheater. It doesn't feel right to call it that.
That's maybe me with the first Ontario Center. I say Cops Coliseum still.
Yeah, right? It's cops, man.
Yeah, it's Cops.
But other than that, I've seen 21 Pilots live twice, and they are incredible showmen. And I would see them live for every album that they put out. So.
Yeah. I guess like sidetrack. What do you think about the new album?
At first, I listened to it like around midnight the day that it came out, and I was
Yeah.
with my roommate, who's my best friend,
Mhm.
and we were listening to it. And just like, this sounds weird. This sounds different.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling the vibe.
Mhm.
But then we started thinking about the lore of their story and why they were making that kind of music. Plus, that mixed with the live stream concert, which I got to see.
Yeah.
I'm in love with the album now
Yeah.
because of the meaning behind it. And I do appreciate them trying to be experimental with their sound.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I want them to scream. I want them to get so angry.
Yeah. Cause for me, like I'm still like kind of like it's okay like right now, but I only listened to it twice. I think if I listen to it now, I feel like I have a different opinion on it. But after Trench, I was like, are they going this route? Because that's insane
Yeah.
if they are. Because
I was like, this is weird. I don't know. But the more I listen to it, it has grown on me a lot.
Yeah.
I
When
love
like
it a lot
Jumpsuit
now.
came out, I was like, wait, is this 21 Pilots? What is happening? It's like a mix of like Muse and like that, like kind of like yeah, modern rock, and I was just
Yeah,
ready
they
for that.
introduced all the heavy instruments, and
Yeah,
like before they didn't use too many like guitar sounds or bass sounds. Then Tyler learned guitar, learned bass, threw that in there. Plus Josh's impeccable drumming,
yeah,
which we could talk about drumming later too if you
yeah,
want.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I guess like a little bit into Trench, like Pet Cheetah was like one of my favorite
That was
songs.
like such a wild card song, but it hit so hard.
And then Levitate was again one of my favorites. I guess like for me, I guess Trench is like my favorite album for me personally because that's just it just marks everything I love
it's
like
so
that.
cool.
Even though
They
I
did
love
so good.
I love every genre in general, but that one just specifically like checks all the ticks that I love
Yeah,
when it comes to that type of music. But yeah, I'll have to give like the new album another listen. But yeah, 21 Pilots, shout out. If
Right?
Tyler Joseph, Josh Dunn, you want to be on the show, let me know.
Oh, that'd be nice. You're both my phone background, if that helps.
That's pretty good. But yeah, I guess like kind of I already brought it up like for a couple episodes like what my favorite shows are, but quickly my favorite show is probably Brockhampton. Seeing Brockhampton was probably I don't know if they would be my favorite, but they're up there for sure.
You don't have to assign favorites. You can just say the ones
like,
that were
a
great.
couple of my favorites, I guess, like or that are in my like top 10 list, but no, not specific order. But like Brockhampton, Tyler the Creator, I got to see him twice, which was amazing.
Wow.
New album is amazing as well, and BTS, obviously, BTS was just like, even though for me, like, I didn't really have like kind of like context of like what a K-pop show is like. So I thought, no, they just perform, like, do their thing. But no, it's like a spectacle. Like,
Oh
there's
yeah,
like,
I can
yeah,
imagine.
there's like pyrotechnics. There's like different cool backdrops and everything. Their last concert, they had one of the members just flying around like Peter Pan, where it was just like,
Well, okay.
uh, I'll send you a video later. But yeah, it's just those kind of things, which I personally, I could, even if you're not a fan of K-pop, you kind of like, I kind of like, you could always respect like the effort they
Totally. The
go into.
production
The
value.
production value is like next to, it's like another level. I remember showing Eric one of their concerts. And he's like, because he used to be one of like kind of like the stage crew for like McMaster, and he even
Oh
said
yeah, he
like,
was.
and even he was like, I can't even imagine though. It's very stressful just setting up instruments and lighting. But then they're like, all right, we gotta do this.
Want to make sure that doesn't blow up, that doesn't catch on fire.
Yeah, exactly. I'll say those probably are my top three at the top of my head, and then obviously the Citizen show, which was like lineup was Citizen, Turnover, Cold Front, and I can't remember the other. Is and like at the time this Pop Up Man fighting season, that was an amazing show. But yeah, those concerts. Shout out to concerts in general.
Right?
It's
Shout out to
amazing.
live music.
Shout out to live music in general, and just I'm so amped to see that everything's kind of like slowly revving up again with the shows and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and going back to music again. What is some of your favorite albums and why?
Oh man. I would say Color Me in Kindness by Basement.
Mm,
Is definitely one of those like gateway drug albums.
yeah.
So that's one, like Youth from Citizen, that's one of the ones that like will stick with me forever.
Hmm.
Other than that, if we go like way back, the first album that I stole from my dad on a CD was U2, and it was like a compilation best of the 80s to the 90s, and that has
Yep.
some of my favorite songs on it that I still listen to now. It's hard to think of like the top albums when you really think through like all the decades and all the music that we've been alive to listen to.
Hmm.
I guess some other just like artists that stick out to me that aren't necessarily from the genres that we talked about. Billie Eilish.
Oh,
I really
yes.
like what she's doing. I think it's super unique and I'm really into it. A
The
lot
new
of
album.
the more like
I'm so excited for the new
I
album.
know, I'm excited too.
It's just you could tell like the huge like the difference between like the last album to this one. I'm just excited
Yeah.
to see where it goes with that. And just I haven't gotten the
Yes.
chance to see the documentary that they did recently.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I want to see
either.
it too. And then like her and Phineas are like unstoppable. I feel like them together. Obviously they're siblings, but just like that duo was like amazing. And I'm just so excited to see
true.
what happens with that.
Yep, definitely. The way that they can musically do so much with just them, and the way that they are able to like listen to and incorporate each other's ideas, it makes for some really strong and really unique sounds
Yeah.
that I don't think I could hear from anybody else.
Mhm.
Oh man, it's hard for me to just randomly like recall other favorites.
Mhm.
So I'll get back to you on that if you want to talk about some of yours.
Oh yeah. Some of my favorite albums, again, non-specific orders, but Daft Punk Random Access Memories. I think I bring it up every single episode, and I'm like, oh, it's tattoo. But yeah, yeah,
Look at my
yeah. I just still like it still sucks that they're broken up now. But there's a little part of me hoping that maybe it's like a PR stunt, or they're like
right?
maybe it's like something that they're doing. But like, you know, it's okay if they're broken up. It just personally for me, like, no, I need to see you guys live. I haven't done it yet. And
That's true.
another one's Tyler the Creator's Flower Boy is up there. Modern Baseball, You're Gonna Miss It All. That's up there too. I just started re-listening to them again because there's this YouTuber I follow. He talks about a lot of music, and then he brings up a lot of like rap and pop, and then suddenly he brings up like, this is my Modern Baseball's one of my favorite artists, and then like Modern Baseball, I haven't listened to him in a while, and they bring up like their entire discography, and I just went through this rabbit hole again of listening to all their music again. Like, how do I still remember all the lyrics to every song?
It's true. You have like a specific part of your memory that's just meant for song lyrics. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Actually, the other day, I purchased The Best Damn Thing by Avril Lavigne on vinyl.
Yeah.
Because, like, hello. So I listened to all of that. It's like, how do I know all the words to these songs? I
Mhm.
don't get it. But it's somewhere in there. You just remember.
Yeah. Some of my other ones, Citizens Youth is up there for sure. Basement, but I wish I could stay here.
Oh, that's a great one
That
too.
was the album that introduced me to them, and
Yeah.
I hope I haven't checked like their socials yet, but I don't know if they announced it's showing up. But I'm like there for sure, and it just
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
cool. It's cool that they're getting so huge right now, especially like I guess in general, like all like the bands I listened to in high school, all of them are kind of getting big. Especially for me personally, for Seaway,
Hmm.
another like one of the best shows I've been to because I think the people I've seen the most. I think because I'm trying to count. I see them like that like 5 times I think. And every time
Wow,
they
that's
put on a
awesome.
really amazing show, and just seeing them kind of get big now. It's like for me, it's just seeing bands that you kind of listen to when they first start off, and seeing them
Mhm.
blow up now. It's just like I was there. That's amazing. You
For
guys are killing
sure.
it right now.
They're pretty local to us too, right?
Yeah, they're from Toronto, so
So
it's
yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty close.
I think yeah, those are my favorite albums right now. I can't think of any, but probably like after we finish recording, I'll be like, oh yeah, these ones. But
Oh, it will always happen. I just remembered now. Billy
that's how.
Talent's pretty good.
Yeah, I was gonna say like what have you been listening to? I guess I could start with Billy Talent because Billy Talent 2 I think just had their anniversary like 2 days
Yes.
ago I think. So I was like again went down the rabbit hole like how do I remember all the lyrics to like almost all these songs? It's
Hmm.
like one of those artists you never really think about like you listen to a lot and then suddenly you listen
Because
to them
they've been
now.
around forever.
Yeah,
They're just
you
immortal.
listen to them now. It's like how do I remember this? I haven't listened to Billy Talent in such a long time. Nothing against them, but like I listen to like a bunch of different music, so it's just they kind of in the background. But suddenly they come,
It's true. We've got too much to go through to
yeah, and
remember.
suddenly you listen to the two or their first album, and you're just like, "To the river below." I'm like, how do I remember this? I remember like all these lyrics, but
No, it's true.
a couple other things I've been listening to lately. I guess like I'll set what I've been doing with a lot of my guests. I send them like all the albums I kind of bring up, just recommendations.
Please do it. Yes.
Um, currently right now, I don't know if you know Porter Robinson. He's
I know of him.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he's an EDM slash pop artist. He released an album this year, Nurture. It's currently my album of the year
I
because
actually love the album art for that because I've seen
oh
it around.
yeah,
So for sure.
yeah, I highly recommend that album. It just for me personally, it's like one of the albums that like made me cry because it's just because he talks about a lot of the things I went through. Like, well, I think a lot of people went through this year with like, like mental burnout, just like kind of second guessing yourself. Just a lot
Yeah.
of those
Like, what
albums,
am I
just
even doing?
yeah, what am I even doing? And it's just like, how am I supposed to like? Because his last album was like really popular, and he's just this stuck in this rut. Like I can't top. Like how am I supposed to top that? And every time he make the song, he's like, no, it's not good enough. I gotta make a new one. Just like he kind of talks about it throughout this entire album, his journey with that. And just for me, I kind of relate to that. Another one, Tyler the Creator's new album, Call Me If You Get Lost. That one's another
I haven't
amazing
listened
album.
to it yet, but I need to.
That one's amazing. Brockhampton's new album, Roadrunner. We're in their merch right now. It was
Lit.
my album of the year, but then Porter Robinson came and like just like took the throne for that.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
Another one I've been going through just early 2000s radio music for some reason. I just went
That's
through.
such a mood. I
I
feel
just
that.
I just listened to a lot of Black Eyed Peas. Like how do I get it's just like how do I remember all these songs? Like Black Eyed Peas, John Mayer. Again, like John Mayer, I haven't really listened to besides like I think his first album, like way
Hmm.
back when. And this only I randomly had this urge of just listening to John Mayer. I've listened to a lot of him.
That's such a random urge to get,
Yeah,
but I get it.
I think it's because it was another YouTuber. He just brought up John Mayer and how like he plays the guitar and how he does, like how he plays his guitar is kind of unique compared to like every other guitarist out there. And then he started playing all these songs. Like I remember all these songs. What the heck? And then I just again went through all of his albums and now I'm like kind of a John Mayer fan now. Um, I think those ones I think stand out for me right now. What I've been listening to. What have you been listening
Yeah,
to
for
lately?
sure. Right now, my main Spotify playlist for this year is just like random songs, like one-offs from artists. But I remember earlier in the year, there was a song recommended to me called "Freaking Out on the Interstate," and it's by Briston Maroney.
Yeah.
and he's great. So I recently just purchased his recent album and his EP, and I've been listening to those a lot.
Hmm.
Um, Super cool, just kind of like indie rock. Um, I don't know how else to describe it. That's
Yeah.
kind of what it sounds like. And then probably end of last year, or in the summer of last year, I started really diving into Arctic Monkeys discography
Oh man.
because
Yeah.
obviously we all heard AM.
Yep.
We're all very familiar with that. But
Hmm.
then I got into like Favorite Worst Nightmare and
Yeah.
Suck It and See
Yeah.
and Whatever People Say and That's What I'm Not. And
Hmm.
those songs are great.
Hmm.
So that's what comes to mind is like recently. But I
Yeah.
know that there's so much more.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Just Arctic Monkeys again. I went in high school. I went through my. This is gross for me to say, but I went through like a hipster phase where I listened to a lot
We
of
all did.
went to listen to
The
like indie rock, and I thought it
1975.
was quirky and cool. Like, yo, you ever heard of Arctic Monkeys? You probably never heard of them, but like Arctic Monkeys, Colorado, Cage the Elephant, like
Oh,
those,
Cage the Elephant's great.
like I again, the last episode I recorded with my friend Matt Scott, he kind of introduced me to the Cage the Elephant because I only knew like Ain't No Rest for the Wicked like everyone else, but he showed me like Shake Me Down and like a bunch of other
Yeah.
like a bunch of their other songs. I'm like, this is insane, and like I haven't really checked on like if they're doing anything right now, but I feel like they're so underrated because I feel like only like people kind of know like Ain't No Rest for the Wicked, but it's like you have to go through their discography because it's special. That's the best way I could
It's
say
true.
it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Um,
They really are an under the radar band. Like a lot
yeah.
of people don't think of them as like, oh yeah, I love that band. It's like
Hmm.
you love their songs. You just
Yeah.
don't think about it too much.
Hmm. But what else was there? There's probably other ones, but I can't think of them right now. But just I guess think about it now. It just kind of going down like the rabbit hole of just stuff you listen to in high school.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know why I had this mindset like all my almost all the things you listen to high school was like cringe or like I wouldn't like it anymore. But like, you listen to them now and I still vibe with it. I
Oh
really
yeah,
enjoyed
for
I
sure.
enjoyed it a lot.
I know that I recently, or my mom recently, found my 2 old iPods
Hmm.
that I used to listen to in high school, and I was going through the discographies on them. Excuse me. And I'm like, oh my god, All Time Low and Bring
Yeah.
the Horizon
Hmm.
and like all that shit. It's like, it still kind of hits. It's
Yeah.
still pretty good.
Oh man, Bring Me the Horizon is another band that I absolutely love, and it's just cool. I don't know if you listened to like their last album that they released. I think they released it last
Oh,
year.
I didn't listen to it yet. I
Hmm.
listened to one of the songs.
Hmm. But that's like another like band I got into recently, because I listened to them like I try to remember like the timeline now, but I remember listening to Bring Me the Horizon way back when they're like a screamo band, like all these
Yep.
always screaming in the album. But then he kind of moved away from that in like their later albums, and that's when I kind of stopped because back then I'm like, they're not the same. They're like I was like I was those kind of people. It's like I missed their old song, blah blah blah. I never gave their other stuff a chance, but then
Mhm.
suddenly they released their album last year. I'm like, oh, this kicks ass. This kind of reminds me of their old stuff. And then I went through
I
their
heard people say that.
yeah, and I went through their albums before that. And I'm like, what was I thinking? It's like one of those things and where you listen to something now. It's like, why was I so not into listening to this? Why am I like I guess because
Why did I ever take a departure from this? Yeah.
everyone's music taste. I think that's what I learned from. I think since I finished college is like don't let anyone like kind of form your music taste. You kind of just go off and do your own thing. Just because your
Mhm.
friend doesn't like this doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. It's like
It's true.
that's been my thing. Even with K-pop, like for the longest, I'm like, I don't know. Like their fans are like all like terrible, and it's like it's kind of like again like poppy music. I wouldn't enjoy that, but then I started listening to it myself. I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty decent. I like this a
Yeah,
lot.
for sure.
Then a lot of things, like, especially like the main one that like everyone likes to attack country. Yeah, there's some like country that's not great, and like like a lot of people think about like the bro country, like drinking
Yeah.
beers with your
My
friends.
truck and my
If
beer.
you're drinking
Yeah.
my beer, going fishing with the boys. I'd
Yeah.
rather be fishing right now. But one of my friends, Quentin, shout out, he was in like a couple episodes ago, but he introduced me like actually like some really 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 good country artists. I'll send you some, but
Sure.
they're that's another genre I want to like start getting into. And EDM is another one. I had like this weird like thing in high school where I was really into dubstep.
So did I. I went
Yeah.
through the exact same phase where I was like, oh fuck yeah, dubstep.
Yeah, dubstep, bro. You
Why?
Skrillex bass boost bangering.
Yes.
Like I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, I mentioned that you do photography, and
Yes,
just
I
kind
do.
of, and just again, like what started like your love for that?
So it definitely started from travel. So like I would have like my family camera, like the little tiny point and shoot with the zoom lens, like you pull the thing and it zooms.
Mm-hmm.
If you had one, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom would like let me take pictures whenever we would travel. We went to Nova Scotia a lot because my grandma lives there.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we traveled there, I'd be like, oh, we're at a beach. I'm going to take a picture. Oh, we're at another beach. I'm going to take a picture. So that's how I started. And eventually my mom was like, you know, that's actually like a really good picture. So I just started taking more and more. Honestly, the more you do it, the better it will get.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is probably for most things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Awesome. I guess like going into like more of your photography, just kind of do you have any like personal favorite like photo shoots you did, or any like, I know in college you did, was it photography? I think it was it.
Yeah, I took photography for school.
Was there any like moments during that time just like were like highlights to you?
Oh, absolutely. Because when I went into it, all I had really done was like, oh, I'll take portraits of my friends outside, or like just like documenting things. So I had an eye for it, but I didn't really know how to like set up studio lights or like stage things properly. As soon as I learned about like the whole commercial side and the studio photography side, I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like I can create some good shit with this. So it's kind of the perfectionist in me, kind of the, I don't know, but I love working with like products and food in studio.
Yeah.
So like set up the lighting and make it look really cool. I actually ended up combining the two, records and photography. When I really started getting into collecting, I was like, oh, I'm going to take really cool pictures of like all this wax that I spent so much money on, and like share it with people to see what they think. So it was cool for a while to kind of push yourself and get creative with your tool and just try to create something that like will interest other people. So I try and remember that whenever I'm doing photography work still.
Yeah, and I guess that like, kind of like the same thing with me because I took radio broadcasting, and I didn't really know much besides like, you know, obviously radio. But when you go to that program, I guess it's like free like advertisement for the radio program at Mohawk. It was, for me personally, everyone has like their different opinion on it with the program, but I personally learned a lot during that time. Like I learned like the industry, like how to audio edit. I knew nothing about that. Sure. Audio edit, how to do a show, how to do everything. They give you like kind of like a breakdown of how everything works, and then from there, by like the end of your second year or last year, you're like, all right, which one do you want? and it's yeah. So I found I really enjoy doing like voice work and just audio editing for me. Maybe because I'm like really like I'm really anal when it comes to like kind of like audio and like just like audio quality in general. So
sorry, I'm using my phone to record this. It's gonna send you up the wall.
It sounds really good. It's better than like it's crazy sidetrack, but like it's seen like interviews when quarantine first happened, people had like for some reason everyone had really bad like phone quality, or there's like,
yeah,
okay, so
it's their bandwidth, it's their internet.
It's like, okay, so we're going to be talking about, and then they're just like staring at the camera because of the lag or whatever, like,
yeah,
okay, so this is, and like now it's like it's better now, and thankfully now the kind of everyone's kind of slowly meeting up to record and everything. So
yeah,
but yeah, I just like that program was really, I feel like a lot of people like really important with like with life in general, because you meet a lot of cool people, you also learn a lot of cool things.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah,
I know that my program was great for specifically what you said about like the industry and like teaching you. It's like, okay, so you want to be a photographer. For that, you can either like be a freelance photographer that like companies randomly hire to do shoots, or you can be a wedding and family portrait photographer. And I knew I didn't want to do that. So right now I actually have a really cool opportunity. I work with someone who works with small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So if they need any like updated photos for their website, or if they like sell products online, they will contact my manager and she'll be like, okay, cool. So we're going to do like this social media thing to make your brand a bit more like up to date and current. And then I get to take the photos and do the editing. So
Nice.
it's like dream job, exactly what I want to be doing, working in the industry. And I'm getting so much information and meeting so many clients. So I'm doing good. I'm doing it, Mom.
That's awesome. It's just like for me, I'm still trying to like figure out what I'm gonna do with like all like the knowledge I learned.
Like you're doing this.
Yeah,
this is
I'm doing
like
it. This is like
using
kind of
everything
this
that
is
you
kind of
learned.
this is kind of like the thing I'm using with my I guess degree. It's not a mouse pad, like it's not a mouse pad right now, but yeah, I gotta say for sure. At least for me, I learned a lot throughout college. Just even though it was only a 2-year program, they crammed all this stuff, and you
It's
just
true.
and it like for me it carried on for me.
Yeah, mine was only 2 years too, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of life lessons
Yep.
within the college programs, and
Mhm.
you learn a lot about yourself too, and
Mhm.
what you value and what you need
Mhm.
for afterwards. It's not always about like the book content, it's
Mhm.
really about what you're doing. So I'm
Mhm.
glad that you had the same experience that I had, and that you're going to keep it with you for a while.
Yeah. I guess going to the next topic, video games. We like it's like
Oh yeah.
yeah, we forgot to mention that. I forgot to mention that earlier. Just like, both Megan and I are really like are gamers. We're like it's so weird to say that
I'm
now because
not
like
really a gamer anymore. I just
no.
know a lot about games
Yeah,
sometimes.
even still, I just remember like us like talking about like video games we grew up playing, and like all that. Just I guess going into it, what is some of your favorite video games and why?
So right off the bat, I think of Fallout and Skyrim because I love open world adventure RPGs.
Mhm.
I love single player games because I always have shit internet. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to play games with my friends. So I need to entertain myself.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Other than that, I grew up playing a lot of like Portal and
Yeah.
some like original Xbox games like Battle for Bikini Bottom,
Oh my gosh.
SpongeBob.
Shout out
So
to
good.
Rehydrated.
Yeah, I was texting you when it came out. I 100%
Yeah.
of it
Yeah,
in
100%.
like
I still
2 or 3 days.
I haven't gone back to it, but it's one of those things where I have to dedicate time because it's just like get all the spatulas, and it's like later on you have to wait a little because you need some of the powers for like
Yes.
some of the spatulas, or like some of the spatulas to grab is like really hard to get, so it's just like I have to dedicate like a week to like doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Because I had that game when I was growing up. It was one of the first video games I ever played.
Mhm.
So when it came out again, I was like, oh, I'm going to crush this because I remember everything.
Yeah.
So I just went through it as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Skyrim in general, like, holy crap, like, it's still coming out in consoles, like,
Yep.
they're still releasing
They've made it for everything.
exactly, and I'm just it's weird to like, not weird, but it's still amazing for me that it's still being talked about because again, it's just like. Same with like Minecraft in general. Like people are still talking about it.
Yeah.
People are still playing it. Like there's still stuff. Like people are making really cool mods. Like I don't know if you've seen anything that people are doing with Skyrim right now. People are like adding like worlds from like previous games like Morrowind and everything. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like it's a huge expansion that is just like it's still living on to this day.
It's cool, yeah, for sure. They definitely have a lot to live up to with the next one.
Oh my
Elder
gosh,
Scrolls
it's gonna
6 that they like mentioned at E3. They're like, Elder Scrolls 6 is coming. That's it. I need more than that.
Yeah, it just I can't wait. Also, like I can't remember what the new one that they're releasing. Oh my gosh. Wow, I can't believe I remembered Starfield. Like when I first like
yes, Starfield.
Yeah, they finally. Yeah, it's crazy that they finally announced like a release date for that November next year.
Gameplay.
Yeah, I'm just like for me personally, like yes, I love medieval like that entire setting, but like sci-fi is my thing. I love like people like Dragon Age. I like Mass Effect. Just I'm loving it, and like as much as Cyberpunk was a huge disappointment, I still love that entire setting. I'm hoping it's so crazy for me for seeing them like like the Cyberpunk Twitter be like, all right, guys, it's out, and like it's been out for a while. Why do you guys promote it again? The
Right?
entire conundrum with Cyberpunk for me is just one of those. I guess I don't know if we could we'll go into, but like just like that was really disappointing. There's just like because they promise it's like a constant thing with a lot of games. They're just like they promise this thing almost 10 years ago, and then it comes out, it's like it's nothing like the actual game.
Yeah, I know. They hyped it up way too much, and it just fell so far. I also feel bad for all the devs who worked on it, because
Oh,
I know
yeah,
what
for
they
sure.
wanted it to be was so much more, but then you get hit with deadlines, you get hit with pandemic, you get hit with all that shit
Yeah.
that's just working against you, and then you
Mhm.
can't make the product that you want to.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad for them.
Yeah. At least for me, I would have been totally fine if they just delayed it till like the next year or something. Like I know some people
Yeah, they
have
totally should have
if
delayed
people
it.
like
And
I know
then,
people some people have like their gripes with it, but I'm like, no, if they're delaying it, that means they want to like put more time into it.
yeah, that
Like,
means they want it to be good,
Yeah.
and they want it to work.
yeah, as much as a bummer, like oh, I was supposed to play this like 2 months ago, 2 months ago, like it's fine. It's not the end of the world.
It's okay.
I already have a
The real
backlog of
gamers
games.
are patient.
Like I've already have a backlog of games to go through, so it's like I honestly don't mind. But
True.
yeah, like so those ones you say like your favorite games? Would you say like Skyrim, Portal, and all
Yeah,
that?
they definitely come to mind first. But even recently,
Mhm.
I've been introduced to a lot of indie games that I'm just in love with.
Oh man, what have you been playing?
I didn't play, but I was in the room for like the whole thing, but I
Yeah.
just wasn't holding the controller.
Yeah.
The Outer Wilds.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've played it.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's
Mhm.
so good. Everybody should play it.
Yeah.
Also, Spiritfarer was really cute.
Okay. What was it called?
Spiritfarer.
Spirit. How do you spell it? Oh, here. Okay, gotcha.
It's really good.
Oh,
It's
this
kind
game.
of
Okay, yeah. Okay.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because you guide spirits who are like dead but have like unfinished business or unresolved feelings.
Mhm.
So you like learn their story and get connected to them, of course, and you help them become ready to like pass on.
Mhm.
And it's really sweet. It's like a management game, so
Yeah.
Ray played it because it's a
Mhm.
management game. And then other than that, Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing, huge games.
I was gonna say Stardew. Like, if
Yeah.
you were to ask me what, like, one of the things I did in college besides actually my program is Stardew.
Yes.
Like, during like classes, like optional classes or like classes you have to take, and I was in like the lecture hall just playing Stardew.
Nice.
so many
That's
fun-
awesome.
So many fun memories. Shout out to I can't remember the guy that made the game, but shout out to him.
Concerned Ape.
Yeah, Concerned Ape. Shout out to you, man, because
So good.
oh my gosh, you killed
What a
it.
great guy.
I remember seeing a picture of what his desk was. Essentially, I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen it. There's like this like
I
little-
haven't.
Oh my gosh, hold on, I'm gonna pause it again with the just.
Okay. I gotta look this shit up. It's important. You should leave this in. It's funny.
Oh my gosh, where is it? I just saw it. Where'd it go? Like you can see like his desk
Oh my
was like
god.
it was like because
The
like
pro setup.
because there was like a picture of him like he got a new desk and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. What his old desk was, and it was just like this thing like he made the game like that. That just for me, I respect that
For
a whole
sure.
lot. Again, like as far as I know, he did the music as well, and like oh my gosh, I need like
That
the
soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks.
yeah. And did they release a vinyl of that?
Oh my god, there's 2 versions. They both are like
Mhm.
wicked expensive now because one of them's 4 discs, the other one's 2. The box set that I would like kill for, it's got all 4 seasons as discs, and they're all marbled colored vinyl,
Yeah.
like in the color of that season. It's a gorgeous box set. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's like for sale, but it's expensive.
Yeah, it's like you have to
I
donate
haven't
an
pulled
arm.
the trigger on that one yet.
Yeah, some of my games, like some of my all-time favorite video games, I would have to say like Kingdom Hearts 2 is up there for sure. We don't talk
I
about
know
3.
you love Kingdom
I
Hearts.
feel like I could go like on a tangent for 2 hours about Kingdom Hearts 3. Just TLDR disappointing. Some of my favorites is Guitar Hero. That's just like
Fuck
Guitar
yeah.
Hero Rock Band, like that introduced me to playing drums in general.
Me too. That's how I got into drums.
That's how I learned how to play drums. Obviously, like my brother knew how to play drums. I like watched him play, and then I would watch YouTube drum covers. Shout out to you, Cooper Drummer. If you're watching, he was like the main guy that got me, like, taught me how to play drums. Just watching him do all at the time when dubstep was popping off, he would do like these
Yes.
dubstep drum covers, and I would like try to do that too. And yeah, that's just like that's up there. And I'm playing, if you know Clone Hero.
I don't.
Clone Hero is it's basically like a free Guitar Hero. Like a bunch of community members just released their own like guitar charts. And so like any song now, it's just Guitar Hero, but like the community
awesome.
is making
that's
all like
so needed.
all
I
the
love
guitar
that.
charts. And I have my guitar here, but that's just kind of been also my thing during quarantine is playing that. And again, one of those things where you don't play for a while, something you still remember. I was like decent at it, but playing it now, I'm like, how am I still good at this game? Like somewhat decent at this game. But yeah, Guitar Hero, Rock Band. Oh my gosh, Kingdom Hearts. I'm like looking at my game collection, like in like,
I know.
the
I
corner.
wish I could see my games. I know I played a ton of the original Assassin's Creed games.
Oh man, yeah.
Like 1, 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations.
Yeah.
Were the ones that I played the most. Ezio is my
Ezio, I think a lot of people could say, like, because Assassin's Creed is like it is another different universe right now. I haven't really paid attention, but like I think everyone who plays Assassin's Creed can say like the Ezio era was like
they were definitely
like top
great.
tier.
I don't know if they age well.
Oh yeah, I feel like if I played now,
just like the interface is and the combat is it's like I don't care. Those are my like least concerning bits of the game.
Yeah.
I just love those games.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I just had one. Oh, new love I found recently was the Yakuza series.
I knew that. Yeah.
Like Yakuza 0 is up there with my favorite games of all time. Just like I just bought it on a whim because I heard people talk about like, oh, this game's really great. The story is another level. It's just like a crime drama, also like kind of like a comedy. And then
it's outrageous.
People bringing like I remember just having like zero context, seeing like clips from the game, like what is going on here? Is a man with wearing a diaper running around?
Yeah,
and it's just,
like with a baby kink.
The baby thing is just like what is this game? And then you play it and like I understand. It's like
I get it.
I understand. It's like when one of our favorite streamers, Ray Brownman, shout out
Joe
to you, man.
Brownman.
Yeah, did you want to be on my show? Let me know. But yeah, I remember him when he didn't really like it at first, but then I guess his fans were saying, no, you gotta try it again. He's like, okay,
you just gotta keep going.
And then he played it again, and now it's like one of his favorite series, and they went through like all the other games,
every single one, pretty much. I think that there's so much content in those games, and a lot of the like just fucking playing cards and claw machine and just like
the amount of time I put into bowling in that game.
Yes.
I put a lot of time.
It's so funny.
Well, and like the club management, I love a lot. It's just basically, what's the game? Dine and Dash. It's like that kind of thing. Like, gotta take care of these people. Gotta run over here. Like that kind of stuff.
Dine and Dash. Oh my god.
It's like kind of like that. But yeah, I could say like those ones are my favorites.
I know that recently I was thinking about like the first ever computer games that I played and trying to like reacquire them. Fucking Rollercoaster Tycoon.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
I just remember watching my brother, because at the time my brother built like this, at the time it was like a beast of a gaming PC. Like, like it could run Sims pretty okay.
The Sims is my shit. How did I not mention the Sims?
We can mention
I still play it.
I just remember watching my brother, I think one of my family members, playing the original Sims, even though at the time it was just like a house and that's it. You
couldn't look at anything else.
You can't do anything. You could like sort of customize your characters and that's it. And like I could say Sims 3, I sunk so much time into Sims 3.
I still do. That's the one. I'm probably over 1,000 hours in the Sims 3.
I should pick that up because I remember it was like a Humble Bundle sale was a bunch of EA games and Sims 3 was on there. Like, I haven't played Sims 3 and I just remember playing a lot of Sims 3 and Sims 4 was like not that great, but it was fun.
I agree. I hated the Sims 4 because of how open world the Sims 3 is.
Yeah, they got rid of a lot of things. Like things like buying a car. You can't do that in Sims 4. Like
I know. It's
why
like
can't
you can't
do
just
that?
like go over without going through a loading screen. It's like
I just remember because it was free on PlayStation, like at one point, and I just made like a gamer, like those YouTuber gamer houses, just like all like the friends I played with, just made like a gamer house. That was fun for like.
For sure. I feel like playing The Sims on the console is like hell. Like,
It
why would you
is.
do that to
Oh
yourself?
my gosh, it was terrible. At first, I remember people bring it up like it's not that great. I'm like, nah, it shouldn't be that bad. I play like holy control, like, oh no,
How do
it's
you
like
do anything? How do you
it's
build
like
a wall?
it's like you're playing like like a 10 scheme assignment says, or like you have to do like these different comic L1 and square to bring up the menu and like all this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good. But yeah, I going back into records. I forgot to bring this up, but like, what is some of the best like favorite records you own, or if there's
Oh,
is there any rare ones that you have?
I do have a few like rarer ones, not too limited, but like
Hmm.
out of 100 or out of a couple hundred for sure. Um, but some of my favorite presses aren't even ones that were limited.
Hmm.
Like, it's so random, but John Williams,
Hmm.
he
Oh
has
man,
like
yeah.
he had nothing to do with it, but someone pressed John Williams' like biggest tracks from like Star Wars and Harry Potter and
Hmm.
Indiana Jones. No, not Indiana Jones. Jurassic Park is what I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's on a vinyl that's splattered in so many colors that it looks like a galaxy, especially when you hold it up to the light.
That's awesome.
So I know that's
Yeah.
one of my
I'll
favorites that
probably
I
pull
can
up like
get.
different pictures of all the records you mentioned, but yeah, that's amazing.
Sure, you can link my Instagram if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
Vinyl Megan.
Vinyl Megan, check it out, guys. I'll put like all your socials in the
Yeah,
description. But
for
yeah.
sure. I don't really post too much anymore. I kind of lost the thrill of it,
Hmm.
and I don't have too much time to do anything related to records anymore. So
Yeah.
when I have the time, I spin one. Oh, Manchester Orchestra. I love the
Yeah.
band Manchester Orchestra,
Yeah.
and I always forget to talk about them. So there you go. There's your shout out. Love them. Also, City and Color has their most recent album, A Pill for Loneliness,
Hmm.
has a really cool press that's just like also different colored splatters.
Hmm.
I'll find a picture and send it to you. But funny thing about that record is that it was pressed at our local ish Burlington record pressing factory that I got to work at for
Really?
like a month.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they had it on the wall as like in their QA room where they listen to all the records to make sure that they're good. They have like some of their favorite presses, and it was up there. I was like, oh my god, you made this! I own this. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
working there was really cool and seeing how they made the records, but
Yeah.
it's not the job for me. I
Yeah.
prefer to skin them as
Yeah,
opposed
exactly.
to make them.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I when I like approached you to like be, or when you approached me, or either one, like asked to be on the show, on my show. We mentioned like even though you're not like the biggest, like you're starting to get into anime more. We could like
Mm-hmm.
I think like the last thing we could talk about is like a little bit is anime in general.
Sure.
It's like you mentioned you watched Full Metal Alchemist. What was the other ones you watched as well?
My Hero Academia and
Yes,
Steins Gate.
that's Steins
Those are the
Gate.
ones that I've like watched in their entirety.
Yeah.
It's shout out to Callum, my
Mhm.
boyfriend. He's the one who introduced me to anime. I had never watched anything really before. I had watched Attack on Titan,
Yeah.
and like I watched Sailor Moon when I was like in kindergarten,
Yeah.
but that was kind of it. So the first anime that we watched was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and
Yeah.
I fell in love with it.
That
It's
is
so good.
that's like the for me personally like the one of the good starter like starting to get to and
Yeah,
Attack on
that's
Titan
exactly
as well.
why we watched
Like
it first.
Full Metal is like this level like I guess a lot. I'm not speaking for everyone, but I could say that's a lot of people's favorite animes. Like
Yeah.
even like for me growing up like watching it because I watch anime since I was a kid like with Naruto. Just I
Yeah.
remember Full Metal Alchemist watching that and like my mind was blown throughout the entire thing and then reading the manga as well is amazing.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really good one. If you're listening to this and you've never watched anime before, start with that one.
Yeah.
Or you could also start with probably my personal favorite anime, My Hero Academia.
Yes, we could go into
It's
that.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, My Hero Academia. I haven't watched any of the new like the season that's on right now, but oh my gosh, what the heck? Like that's an amazing show.
It's
Like-
so good.
Because for a little while for me, like I was really into anime. Like when I was a kid, I really only watched like Naruto. And then high school, I went through like this huge like at the time like Attack on Titan came out and like a bunch of other anime. And at one point, I got kind of overwhelmed because it felt like there was like a new anime to watch. It was just like, have you watched this? Have you watched this? I'm like, okay, I need to like calm
Yeah,
down.
hold on. Yeah.
And then college again, I picked it up again, and like then another one of those like I got overwhelmed. But now because of quarantine, really have all the time in the world.
Yes,
I've
that's
just
how I watched all of it.
been going through a lot of it. But like My Hero Academia was like top up there with my list because like, it's everything I love. Like for me with movies, TV, anime, I just love like kind of like the over the top like bright, colorful like action movies or
Yeah,
action
for sure.
shows. Like I love it because like at the time I mentioned this in the One Piece episode, but I'm so used to watching like kind of like the melancholy, like sad, like this is going to make you cry throughout the entire
Yeah,
show, like type of anime. With My Hero and One Piece, it's just like this bright. Let's go on. There's sad moments in the show, but it's mostly like a bright, funny adventure the
it's
entire
super
time.
bright. Yeah.
Yeah, would you say like what is like? Tell me what is like some of your favorite My Hero moments?
Um, Instead of just like moments, I really like just how they treat the characters overall. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can see such growth even in like the characters that aren't the main characters. Like
Yeah,
everybody's growing and evolving, and they all have superpowers, so they're all
yeah.
like honing their superpowers. I would say the sports festival episodes were really good.
Mm-hmm.
I liked those a lot, and just the training to get their hero licenses was really good
Mm-hmm.
too. Um, and this whole new season is a lot of just like you're not focusing too much on the overarching story.
Yeah.
So yet, I think we're 9 or 10 episodes into the season, and it's mostly just like one big scene that they're cutting up into a ton of little scenes. So
Yeah.
it'll be easy to watch when you do get around to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that I like the show because of the English dub voice actors.
Oh, it's
I
like
actually think they're really good.
I feel like because at the time I still only really listen to like watch a dub for no I watch a sub more than dub because at the time the English dub wasn't that
No,
like
a
great
lot
at
of
the
the time
time.
they're shit.
But now I watch like One Piece, Demon Slayer, and My Hero, and like the English dub. Even though I watch it in like in sub, I go back and listen to the dub. The dub, I'm like,
Mhm.
this is amazing because they have like these amazing voice actors doing the characters.
Yeah, absolutely. The voice actor specifically that plays Ida
Mhm.
is actually in like a ton of anime, and
Yeah,
that will lead me into my other favorite anime, which is Steins Gate.
yeah.
I don't, have you seen that one?
I did in high school, but like my memory of it is kind of gone.
It's really
I had to
short.
rewatch it. Yeah.
It's not very long at all. I think it's either one season or two short seasons. It's
Mhm.
not very long, but it's fantastic. The voice acting is great. The story is really cool because it's about like time travel.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sci-fi meets like everyday comedy, and
Mhm.
I fell in love with it. I was crying by the end because
Yeah.
something really sad happens, and they try and fix it.
Yeah.
So I get really emotionally invested into anime, and I
Yeah.
cry
Oh
a
man.
lot.
Me, it's insane. Like the many times I cried during, it probably because you mentioned that, like, mentioning like your boyfriend watches One Piece. There's so many
Yeah,
moments like
all
that.
of
Like
it.
it makes you, it just drop kicks your heart, and it just like makes you like cry so many times during that show. Like so many
For
things in that
sure.
show was amazing. But yeah, in My Hero Academia, some of my favorite moments, the entire All For One battle with All Might, that entire thing,
Yes. Oh my god.
like the
Yes.
United States of Smash, like just him like doing like his final punch, and then look at the camera like you could be the next like whatever, and then Deku's just like crying. That
Ah!
that for
Yeah.
me, just Deku in general. Deku is one of my favorite anime protagonists in general. Like
Yeah,
there's like,
because he's
for me personally, I don't find anything annoying about him. Just you could feel. I feel like a lot of people can relate to that character. Just seeing kind of his growth from like being quirkless to just see
yeah.
where he is now, and just seeing his development is just like kind of like seeing like with like for my personal life, just seeing like I went through kind of the same thing. Just seeing
I
him
know.
like grow as a character is amazing.
It's super inspiring to see how he like handles everything that's thrown at him. Because later on, him and Bakugo kind of have a rivalry, but Deku every time is just like, well, I'm just gonna get stronger so I can beat you, instead
Yeah,
of being like, yeah, I know you're better than me and I'll never be as good as you. I love
yeah,
his attitude towards
yeah.
things. It's so inspiring and makes me want to like try
Mhm.
sometimes.
But
So
yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, some of my we could go to like some of our favorite character. Oh no, some of the like sadder moments is like when All Might's like sidekick. I can't remember what his
Yeah,
yeah that entire
Night
thing.
Eye.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, I bawled my eyes out so much for
Oh,
during that part. Just
Now that you reminded me with like I don't remember his name, but the guy whose just like face appears in the wall.
oh him,
Um,
oh man, I I can't remember his name, but like his character.
exactly, it's a
Yeah,
hard name to remember, but
yeah,
I love him so much.
his
He's
character
such a
just like
sweetheart.
seeing him like if it isn't like surprise anyone, we're in a spoiler territory. If you ever watch My
Yeah,
Hero,
we might
like
say spoilers.
yeah, I'll put like a timestamp of when we stop talking, but like yeah, his entire thing, like all his dreams and ambitions, suddenly he just loses all of it.
I know, it's like
like during that
oh,
entire
his
thing.
name's Lemillion because he wants to save 1,000,000 people.
Yeah, that's
and then
exactly
he
yeah, like,
loses
that's
his
his name.
quirk. And
No,
poor little Aerie.
like
Oh my god.
and I guess like obviously the manga is like way ahead right now, and like I kind of want to read the
Yeah.
manga because I can't wait anymore. I can't wait to like watch the entire season while like the manga's like 2 seasons ahead already or something. So it's like I need to know, but like apparently something happens. I don't know.
Well, at least watch the season that
yeah,
they're doing now.
yeah, exactly. But but yeah, then just there's so many think about that, so many like kind of tragic moments that happen. Like you learn more about like Todoroki's like backstory with like his
Yes,
like
he's
his
one of my
with his
favorite
mother. Yeah,
characters.
I think mine is still a headphone jack. She's like
I love Headphone Jack. I was
yeah.
gonna say her too.
When they first introduced her, I'm like, man, she's cool. And then the entire little like mini festival arc where she's like,
Yes.
we gotta do this song. And she's like, I
You
can't
gotta
do
put
it.
on a concert.
And then her parents are like, no, you can do it, bro. I'm like, yeah. For me, that was just like little things that for some reason like made me like tear up a little. Like, yo, she did it.
I loved it. It was really good.
That entire thing, and yeah, like there's a lot of for me. Same with One Piece, like even the villains, you find something you like about them. Like obviously they're assholes, but but you really enjoy like just them on screen is really cool. Just how they're like the pacing in that show is amazing.
Yes,
it's like,
really well done.
we're gonna go to the tournament. All right, we're at the tournament. It's not just like this in between kind of thing. You're kind of like boom, 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 you're done. There's just
I know. Sorry,
no,
I was gonna say for villains, Twice is actually one of my favorite villains, and it was pointed out to me specifically by my boyfriend who showed me the anime. But like his like internal struggle and how he doesn't want to be bad, but like that's what ends up happening. He's such an interesting character, and I'm glad that they touch on stuff like that because then you feel for all the parties and you understand what's going on.
Just again, like All Might is one of my favorite characters. Just seeing like his also again his internal struggle, like he's not the same as his like back in the day because of his injury. So seeing like that entire fight with All For One is just like, oh man, you can tell you're cheering him on, but it's like, oh, he's like
he's going to die.
he's literally going. He's like a ticking time bomb. He's like, if you don't beat this guy right now, everyone's fucked. Essentially.
I remember just at the beginning of the show too, the way that he like transforms out of his hero form and just like opens his mouth and vomits blood.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ. But it gets used as like comedy later. Oh my god, and when Deku does the All Might face and he's like, never do that again.
Never do that again. There's a pin I saw on like Etsy of just that face. I kind of want to get it.
Oh god, of course you would. I think you should. Just
or like
you have to now.
Or Lemillion's face going through the wall. Just that he's just like doing that face. Like I need that.
I want that on like a pop socket. Just
and
his face.
also oh my gosh, why am I Eraser? His like, but it's like
I love him.
Yeah, Eraser and like it's him, but it's like Squidward's face. It's just like I'll send you that one, but yeah, it's just him and like Squidward like. Squidward's like annoyed face, but with him.
Yeah, I can totally picture that. Aizawa, honestly, another one of my favorite characters. And I don't remember his name, but the guy who's like a bird and his thing is Dark Shadow.
Oh, him!
He's really cool.
It's funny with like that show. I have like different names for the characters. Like him, I call him Tony,
I can't remember.
I call him Tony Hawk. I call him Tony Hawk. I call Headphone Jack Oxcord. I call like the kid who has like the grapes as powers. I call him Grape Lad. I call him
Papa.
Yeah, I call him Grape Lad. I can't. Is it Chewy or it's Suey? Like the frog.
I think it's just Sue. Like
Sue.
just pronounced Sue.
Sue. She's like one of my favorite characters, and it's
always,
yeah. I'm just pumped. I don't know if you have any predictions like what's gonna happen later on the show. And
well, I don't want to tell you because I know what happens. In
that's true. That's very true.
Season. And I know what they've been leading up to. So
Just
I'm not gonna say anything,
I'm
but
just
I think it's
excited.
gonna be a big fight.
I'm just excited to see what happens. Like they introduce Hawks in like the end
Yeah,
of like season. I think season
and
we're
how
on
he
season
like
like 5 now, right? We're on like season
might be
5.
on the bad team. Yeah, I think it's season 5 right now.
Yeah, but like yeah, season 4, like the very like last episode, like this is Hawks, and I'm like, oh, like he's so cool, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to see like where they go with that. And I saw like I saw the first episode of season 5, where you see like Hawks talk to I can't remember who it was, but it's just kind of like this for me. It's like what's going on with this. I'm
Oh
just
yeah, he talked to someone in the League of Villains, right?
yeah, that's it. Yeah, he talked to like one of the villains. I'm like, wait, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? So again, like
That's what I still don't know. I'll let you know that.
okay.
I still don't know.
So you still like kind of like I was like, is he like a double agent? What is going on? Like he's a cool ass hero. Even though they showed like him fight for like 2 minutes, I'm like, this guy's cool. He's awesome.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm just
Crazy.
excited to see what happens. I just like seeing again. They probably like cover this now, but like just seeing where they go from here is just like with what's going on with Deku, with Bakugo. It was just like the entire progression with Bakugo. Like at first you kind of hate him at the beginning because he's just like
Yeah,
this
it's
bully.
like wow, this guy's such a dick.
He's like you're quirkless. You should just die now, Deku. I'm like whoa, but like I'm just like excited to see where they go with all the characters with that. And it's like one of the like, funny moments to meet like Bakugo's parents, where it's like
Yeah, that was
like,
funny.
There's like his mom's basically. He's basically same thing as his mom. His dad's like Ned Flanders, essentially. Like, no, it's okay. Like,
Yeah, his mom's like, it's like the same as him.
mm-hmm. Just I'm just so excited to see where that show goes because I feel like it's gonna go up there with one of the greatest, I guess, like up there with like One Piece and all that stuff. But like another one
Yeah,
I'd recommend
sure.
for you is Demon Slayer. That's another.
I've heard that. It's with
yeah,
the pig.
Yeah.
I saw Jessica Nigri's cosplay.
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, like it's only like it's on Netflix if there's like a place you need to watch. But it's on Netflix. It's an amazing show. Just like that entire again, I realized in anime now they figure out how to do pacing with the show because like older shows they like take like 10-20 episodes to do one thing. With this one it's like it takes like max like 3-5 episodes to do like whatever like the tournament
To
or
get
like
a concept across
of what's happening. So like Demon Slayer, same thing. Like, we're gonna do this. Okay, we're here. We're gonna do that. But I can't. It's so hard not to talk about the Demon Slayer without going to spoiler territory. But that's another amazing show. And the movie they just released, it's basically like an arc. It's actually canon to the show.
Oh yeah. They
So
did
like,
release that, didn't they?
but yeah, they released that, and I watched. I like literally like a couple 2 weeks ago. I just watched all of Demon Slayer and then the movie with a couple of friends, and just like it makes me so amped for like the new season that's gonna come out. I'd highly recommend. Also, another good starter anime. Just the animation and like the voice acting for the English dub too is really good. It's just
awesome, great.
Yeah, and the intro. Oh my gosh, we watch like the intro once, twice. Like okay, we could just go to that episode, but every single episode, we just watch the intro for it. It's such a it's a really good show. Like, it's gonna be hard to top that in the next season.
Awesome.
But yeah, I feel like this would be a good like finishing point of the for the episode.
Sure, you got it. Time flies. I don't even know how long it's been.
Yeah,
I feel like I could talk forever.
We've been going for like an hour now, like an hour 13 minutes.
Nice.
But yeah, do you have anything to just first? Thank you, Megan, for being on the show. Do you have anything
of course.
Do you have any like final thoughts? You want to shout out anything?
Well, shout out to you for organizing such an awesome way to just like hang out with your friends and talk about your interests because in a world where we can't really see each other in person, this is a really cool way to just get some info out there and like tell people about music and anime and whatever the fuck is going on that you're into. So thank you for providing this service.
Yeah, no problem. And I guess the teaser for the listener/watcher, there's some big things happening with Hanging With Hibbi. Now that everyone's getting vaccinated and everything, and I feel like people are like, we all know like the basic like rules with like 6 feet and all that, but now that everyone has like their second dose, everyone's like vaccinated, I feel like it's gonna be easier now to hopefully have Hanging With Hibbi in person.
That would be awesome.
That's like the next big thing. Hopefully, like I probably like shoot myself in the foot right now, but like it probably might not happen like by like next week. But at some point, either this year or next year, I'm gonna start having like in person, like actually like one-on-one doing the show instead of doing it through Discord or Zoom. That's like the big plan for the channel is probably that. But yeah, thank you, Megan, for being on the show. And If you guys have any thoughts of what we talked about, put it in the description down below. I'll put Meighan's socials in the description as well if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.